So the idea for this project came to me when I was working on my first ever animated film. If you want to watch the film and the story behind the scenes about it, it's on my channel, so you can check it out. And when I work, I usually like having something playing in the background, like a podcast or a music, whatever. And at that time, I used to listen to a lot of J-pop and Vocaloid playlists. That was like my go-to playlist. And among all those songs, there was one song that became my absolute favorite. So much so that it came in first place on my Spotify Wrapped that year with 329 replays in a single year. Yeah, you heard that right. So this is a Vocaloid track by the artist Marutu with Hatsune Miku as the vocalist. Now this song is supposedly about a toxic relationship and obsession with a partner, which you can somewhat tell from the lyrics. If you ever listened to a Vocaloid song before, you know the lyrics can sometimes be how do I say it? Confusing, for lack of a better term. Most people probably think of this relationship as a romantic relationship, and maybe that's true. I don't know if that was the meaning. But I always felt the toxic relationship one has with themselves. Honestly, I didn't even dissect the lyrics too much because just listening to this song gave me this pressing feeling of anxiety and horror. And at that point in my life, this song made me feel things like really, really deep emotional stuff. And back then, I already had ideas in my head for this project, but I never really did anything with them because I didn't have the time, and honestly, they just felt too complicated to animate. I told myself, it's okay, I'll have time to do it next year. And then the year after that, I made my other horror film, also on my channel, and its backstory as well. If you want to check it out, I'll put it on the screen. And again, I had no time. Then I graduated and then I started this YouTube channel and I worked two jobs and I lost my spark to create and then I finally decided that's it. Okay, I will make this project. Okay, life is too short not to chase our dreams and I decided to just make it into a YouTube series because this is obviously the best way to keep yourself accountable is making YouTube videos about it and committing in front of like potentially a lot of people. So here we are. Now, animating a whole song can be a very, 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 very long process. So, I decided to start with my favorite section of the song, which is the bridge part. And if everything goes as planned, I will be proud of the result. I'll go on to animate the entire song, hopefully. I hope that happens. I don't know. And if you're thinking, wait, doesn't this song already have an MV? Actually, it doesn't. Maritu, the artist, prefers listeners to interpret the song freely without being boxed into a single meaning. And I really like that. Avoiding to make an MV for the songs actually makes you really think about it in a way I think most people don't do because the moment you watch the video that is attached to the song, you're like, oh, so this is what they meant. And then you just stop thinking. It's kind of like watching a movie instead of reading the book. Also, I checked on his official website and it says that he welcomes derivative work, even monetized ones, as long as they're within reason. So I think I'm falling into that category. I think I'm in the clear. So without further ado, let's talk about the lyrics, shall we? I find this part of the song to be the one I relate to the most. The feelings of trying to feign ignorance of your situation, to play the quote unquote innocent when you know something is wrong. You'll do anything for validation, even when it's tearing you apart. Back then, when I just discovered this song, I dealt with so much self-hate, so much insecurities, and so much past trauma that this song made me shiver down my spine every time I listen to it. And I really want to bring those feelings to life. It's the way I use to help myself process my emotions. I've done it with my two other films and basically with this entire YouTube channel. And what can I say? It's very effective, and I think everyone should do a horror animation video about their feelings. I'll definitely want to make a video about that as well. What I think it's such a great idea, but in a later video, I think. But before we actually get into the gist of it, let's talk about the work schedule. I broke the project into 3 stages. For those unfamiliar, it's the standard animation pipeline with each step needing to be done properly before moving on, or else you'll just end up doubling your work, which we don't want. In this video, I'll show you my first steps in the pre-production stage. Here are some of the main things I'll be doing. I'm starting with the script. It's the easiest way for me to organize my thoughts. It saves so much time. Let me tell you why, okay? And I'm talking as a visual person here. I know the first instinct is always to just draw what you feel. And don't get me wrong, it's great for finding your visuals and experimenting, and you definitely need to do that. But you need to understand that when it comes to storyboarding, framing shots, or setting up camera angles, jumping straight into drawing without scripting, even like putting the minimum amount of effort into scripting first, will make the process so much harder and so much longer. This is the script I came up with. Most of the first act, which is the dance sequence, is already in rough animation. I was so excited about that part. I just went with the flow and did it. You see what I said about like visual person? Yeah, it definitely will change later. Some parts of it I'm not so happy about, but I'll leave it like this for now until everything is storyboarded. Second act is the one I started sketching today. I had some ideas written down, so I'm trying to make them work as shots. What I want here is to show the characters starting to fall apart. And if you ever watched any of my work before, you know I'm obsessed with eyes. People still send me creepy pictures of eyeballs and eyeballs in jars because of what I did in my last film. Eyes for me represent so much. Now when I'm like recording this, I will definitely make a video about it. It's really interesting and I really have so much to say. Yeah, but back to the video. I tried different ideas and camera angles, and I even went back and redrew some shots I thought were too boring. I'll definitely improve on some later, but for now I think I'm heading in the right direction. The last thing I'm doing is working on the timing. I need to take into consideration both the beats of the song and the time the animation needs to happen. Sometimes it's longer or shorter than you initially thought. I take into account that things will change, but I do try to be as accurate as possible. So now that I have all of this put together, it's done. Okay, it's not. I don't know why I say it like that. It's not completely done. The storyboard is not finished yet. There is a whole part at the end and then a really small part at the beginning that I'm still missing. I hope that you'll enjoy watching the animatic I have so far, so yeah, here it is. So what do you guys think? Definitely I have so much more work to do, but I'm so excited because I feel like I'm going in the right direction. If you have ideas you want to share, let me know in the comments. I'll be very happy to hear from you. In the next video that will be up next week, I'll show you more of the character design and color palettes. I'm going through the process of making a character sheet and I'm gonna do a hair and clothing animation test, so I hope you stick around. I'm very excited actually. If you want to support me and my channel, I made this cute photo card as a little thank you. You can find it on my Buy Me a Coffee page. Just want to say that just watching this video till now is already an amazing support, so thank you so much for being here. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!